Something I've noticed in the maker and the handmade community is that anytime there's a question about, hey, what do I need to do to get better product photos? I'm really struggling. I want to improve them. What advice do you have? More often than not, there's always someone chiming in saying, hey, use this editing app. I use this editing app to remove my background and make some tweaks and my photos look a lot better. You should do this. But is really resorting to editing to make your photos better the right solution? And in my honest opinion, no. To me, you are creating more work for yourself, and it is really not a good use of your time. So rather than spend a bunch of time trying to edit and fix your photos, I want to give you some tips on what you can do beforehand so that your photos actually look better and that you don't spend a bunch of time trying to edit your photos to make them look better. So if you want those tips, make sure you stay tuned. So why is editing not a go-to solution I would give somebody who's looking to improve their photos? Well, that's not to say that I don't like editing. Editing is something I recommend everybody who is photographing their products and trying to sell their work online, because your photos matter and a little editing can go a long way. However, editing immediately after you've taken a bunch of photos isn't necessarily going to give you the results that you want. Because I know a lot of you really are spending more time trying to edit your photos than you are learning how to take a good photo in the first place. That is where you need to start before you end up trying to become this, master product photography photo editor. That is not a good use of your time, and I'm sure you're not trying to be this expert photo editor. You rather just be making stuff, right? So the thing is that you need to spend more time learning how to take a better photo, working on your lighting, your framing, and so on, so that by the time you get to the editing stage, your photo looks amazing. It's already 70, 80, even 90% there. And all you need to do is spend less than 30 seconds making a couple of tweaks, maybe adjusting the brightness, the contrast, and boom, your photo looks amazing. Because you're really not going to improve your photos if you're just relying on editing, whatever photos you get. All you're doing is, making yourself do a lot more work that, isn't really going to help you get the photos that you're looking for. So let's get into what some of these areas are that I really think you should be focusing and paying attention to get product photos that make your crafts look amazing. So if you're going to DIY your product photos, you really need to get the basics down of photography. Now, I know a lot of you just want to, hit the easy button and magically have these amazing photos, but in all honesty, it does take some time and work to get really beautiful product photos. So I encourage you, if you haven't already, spend some time working on your lighting and working on composition and understanding and adjusting your camera settings. These are things that are going to really, really help you improve your photos and reduce the amount of time you have to spend editing your photos. Because if you think about it, I know a lot of you are basically trying to, build a house and not really thinking about the foundational things you need to do to have a structurally sound house. Because a lot of you are just having to fix all these repairs because you didn't take care of the basics, right? You didn't work on how do I get a really, great foundation for, my house, or in this case, product photo. So that is why taking the time to learn, I know it's going to take some time, but literally it's going to save you so much time and give you better results if you take time to practice and learn how to photograph your work. And you're going to end up with really beautiful photos that don't really require a whole lot of editing. So I really encourage you to do this, and I have some blog posts and some videos that can really help you out, from lighting to composition to even camera settings, which I actually have a PDF download for those of you who are using your smartphone to photograph your work. I go over some great camera settings that'll really help you improve the quality of your image. So make sure you download that PDF. I'll make sure to link it below. So make sure you check it out. But yeah, getting the basics down is going to be such a game changer and give you better quality photos. So please don't skimp out on getting the basics down. It's going to help you so much in the long run. So something else that will really help reduce the amount of editing you're going to need to do is slowing down and thinking through what you're doing. I know a lot of you are just, pointing and shooting and taking a photo, and I see a lot of these photos that you're taking because sometimes there's distracting backgrounds, there's, dust or weird marks on your product. There's just a lot of things that you're not paying attention to. And the thing is that when you're rushing the process, you get sloppy and you make mistakes. So slowing down and really thinking through, okay, is this the right background I should be using for my product photos? What can I do to have something else that maybe makes my product pop more? Or, oh my gosh, I really need to clean my product because there's fingerprints or smudge marks, or it looks a little dirty. Like, these are things that you can fix before you take a photo so that you don't have to edit and fix it later on with editing. I mean, yes, we're human and sometimes we miss things, and editing's great for that. But if you're having to do that on all your photos and make all these tweaks, that's just more work. Or worse, you're just leaving it and then your product photos just look kind of sloppy and not great to customers, which can honestly turn them off. So taking the time to slow down and really think through what you're doing, thinking about how you're framing your shot, thinking about, how to make your lighting look better, how to better, all of these things, how to adjust your props that you're using. Really thinking through what you're doing and making those edits as you're taking photos can really help you improve your photos in minutes, just through, editing and making those adjustments as you're taking photos, so that by the time you get to your end result, you have a really great shot, you have less work to do, and your photos look great. So yeah, make sure that you slow down and kind of think through what you're doing, and it'll make your photos look so much better. So you've taken your product photos and they are already looking great. Now is the time to edit your photos. And when you get to this stage, you probably don't need to do that much when it comes to editing, because if you've been working on your lighting, if you've been working on your composition, if you've been working on your camera settings, you've been really thinking through what you're doing, when it comes to editing, you probably don't need to do too much other than maybe adjust the brightness, maybe adjust the contrast, and so on. Your photo probably already looks really amazing, so that's why you don't really need to do too much editing when you've worked on how to get a really solid, beautiful quality product photo. And if you want to learn more about how I edit a product photo and really just show you what it looks like to have a really good photo to start with, I'll make sure to link that video in the description below, along with the blog post that outlines more on what things you should consider adjusting when it comes to editing your photo. So hopefully that'll really help you not get too boggled down on what you really need to adjust when editing your product photo. So I really hope this video helped you really understand why recommending and defaulting to editing your photos if you want your photos to look better is really not the solution, and how incredibly valuable it is to really get the foundational aspects of photography down and really thinking through what you're doing is going to result in better photos that require less editing. And to me, if it saves you time and gives you better results, then, sign me up, right? So I really encourage you to apply these tips in this video. And if you are a maker who really needs some help on understanding how to properly light your products, maybe even understand what camera settings to use on your smartphone, I actually have a cool product photography workshop coming up that I can't wait to share with you. I'm going to be going over the basics on camera settings on your phone. We're going to go over lighting and talk more about what you can do to really kind of get those foundational aspects down so that you get really great photos to work with and that you don't have to edit a lot. So if that is something you're really interested in learning more about, make sure you comment below, and you can also send me a DM on Facebook or on Instagram and let me know you're interested. So when the time comes and it goes live, I'll make sure that you know all about it and you can sign up and join me, because I would really love to work with you live. It is a live workshop, by the way, so it'll be really fun and really interactive and really helpful for you to get better photos and help you make more sales and grow your income from selling your crafts online. So make sure you let me know, and comment below what tip you're going to work on as a result of everything I shared with you. Is it going to be slowing down? Is it going to be working on your lighting, using those camera tips that I'm sharing with you in that free PDF, which is linked below? Let me know, and I'll make sure to link everything that I talked about. I feel like I had a lot to share today in the description below, so make sure you check out those resources if any of those sounded helpful for you. So that is all for today. I hope you're all well, and I'll see you soon. Bye.